hope you're having a happy Saturday. We are so excited about what we're talking about today. We've got some special guests with me today.
I am Chloe. Adrena.
Joel.
And we are so happy to talk about the Grow series again. So last week was Mother's Day. We talked all about your moms and how to honor your parents. And the week before that, do you guys remember what we talked about?
Yes. Yes.
What did we talk about?
We talked about prayer.
Prayer, that's right. And we did lots of fun activities and learned all about the importance of prayer and the power of prayer. But this week, we're going to learn about community. What is community? So think on that. What is community? So most of you probably are thinking that community is what?
Like a big, huge building of a lot of people.
You could place you live, yeah, the place you work.
Yeah, or like just a building.
A building, yeah. But community isn't really about where you live, right?
No. Yeah.
No, it's about the people that live in the community.
Yeah.
They make up the community. So today we're going to learn about church in the community. Like, what is the church community? What is that? That's what we're going to learn about today. So, let's see. Let's talk about the church here. So, what is the church? It's not just a building in the middle of the cornfield in small town Clarksville, Ohio. No, what is the church? Do you know what the church is?
The church is a community.
The church is a community. What else is it?
It's a place that it's not just a building.
That's right. It's not just the building. We are the church. Us, the people, we're the church, the followers of Jesus. We actually don't need a building at all to have church, right? Because we're followers of Jesus and we make up the church. So the point of the church is to help one another, right? So Audrina, I think you have a verse for us, right?
Yeah.
Matthew 22:37 through 40. What does that tell us, Audrina?
Sister here, that's the okay.
Go ahead.
Jesus replied, "Love the Lord with your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love him with all your mind. This is the first and most important commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Everything that is written in the law and the prophets is based on these two commandments."
Very
wow,
good.
Dana, good job.
So what did that verse tell us, Joel? What did it tell us?
That, well, you shouldn't, you always have yourself, but you want to be kind to your neighbors too.
Yeah, to love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you love yourself, right? 'Cause you're awesome.
Yeah.
But I should love you as much as I love me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it tells us. So the very early people, the very first churches, right when Jesus came back, the very first churches, that is what they did. They loved their neighbors as themselves. So Acts 4:32 through 37 says, "Now the full number of those who believed were of one heart and soul. And no one said that any of the things that belonged to him was his own, but they had everything in common. And with great power the apostles were given their testimony to the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them all. There was not a needy person among them, for as many as there were owners of land or houses sold them and brought the proceeds of what was sold and laid it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to each as any had need. Thus Joseph, who was also called by the apostles, sold a field that belonged to him and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet." So that verse told us that there was not a needy person among them. No one around them was in need because they took care of everyone that was around them. They sold their own houses to pay for land for other people. That's how giving these people were. That's how much they loved their neighbors as themselves. So does that sound like the church is doing their job today?
Well.
Do you know any needy people?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we know.
There's a lot of homeless people, right?
Yeah, I just drive by.
Yeah, so what do we need to do as a church to be better at that? What's something that we
build
did?
them up. We can build
Build
them
them
up.
up.
We can
Give them
presents.
Give them stuff.
I
Yeah.
remember that we gave them presents at Christmas.
That's right. We used our offering money, the money that you guys gave. Some of you guys worked really hard for that money, but you gave it back to the church, and we used it to buy Christmas for kids that weren't getting Christmas at all. What else did we do, Audrina?
So we made socks and we put toothpaste and the toothbrush in it.
Yeah, to help homeless people, because some people don't even have socks or a toothbrush or a bed to sleep in.
Sometimes only one person has like one pair of clothes and that's it.
Yeah, but this verse right here told us that people would sell their own houses to pay for other people's needs. So as a church, we need to remember this verse, right?
Yes.
And the next time we see someone in need, maybe we even give them the jacket that we're wearing because we know that they need it way more than we do. Because we probably have what? How many jackets do you think you have in your closet?
I don't know, like
Yeah, too many to count. That's what I thought. So why do we need community? So back to community. We just talked about how God tells us to love our neighbor as ourselves. But why do we need community? Do you guys know what the mission of our church is?
The mission is to, so like he said earlier, we make the church. So their mission is to always make this church bigger and bigger.
Well, yes and no. So we do want the church to grow. We want the followers of Jesus to grow. But as a church, our mission is reach, repair, restore, and rejoice. That used to be on the back of all of our t-shirts. Yeah?
Yes.
So Pastor Matt and the elders of our church, they came up with that because we want to reach those in need. That's the number one thing. The very first thing that we have on there is to reach the hurting. We want to help those that need us. So community is sharing a common life in Jesus. Sharing the things we do every day, right? So we're like a community. We share what we do.
Yeah.
We hang out together. We talk about things, right? We talk about Jesus. Yeah. So that's what a community is. And our church community is a bunch of people who all believe in Jesus. We all have Jesus in our heart.
Yes.
We all want to live a godly lifestyle. We want to live our lives for Jesus. So we all come together as a community and talk on our struggles that we have about doing that. We talk to each other when we're having a bad day and lift each other up. Yep. So Acts 2:42-47 says, "And they devoted themselves to the apostles, teaching in the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and the prayers. And all came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved." So breaking bread.
Showing everybody.
Breaking bread. What does that mean?
Well, it means
communion. You break bread in communion. What does the bread mean in communion?
It means like his skin, his body.
His body. But that's not what they were talking about here. They were actually talking about eating dinner together. Just breaking bread, eating dinner together. They were being together with their loved ones, right?
Yeah.
They were talking about life. They were talking about others, right?
Like
they were talking to love one another.
Like you said, they shared everything with
Yep, they shared everything with each other. They forgave each other. They taught each other. They prayed for each other. They encouraged each other. And they were friends with each other. The list could go on and on. But one thing that should stick out to you is what? Were they talking about themselves?
No.
Were they talking about me?
No. No.
Who were they talking about?
They were talking about everybody.
Everybody. They were talking about other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not yourself or me. Community is about other people. So could I have a community if it was just Haley's community, only Haley, no one else? Is that a community?
Nope.
Not even close.
What if I had all of you guys and a bunch of other people? Is that a community?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, because you have to have other people to have community, right?
Even
from the very beginning, that's right, even two people are a community because they're not alone, right? Because they have each other. So in the very beginning, God created Adam. But did he create Adam by himself?
No.
Now, who did he create to be with Adam?
Eve.
Because he didn't want Adam to be alone. God does not want you to be alone. He never wants you to feel alone. You know what? Even if you don't have another person next to you, or Chloe, or Adrina, or Joel, you always have God with you. So you are never alone, right? Yeah, even when you feel like that sometimes. But God doesn't want us to feel that way. He wants to feel like we always have a community. So God even Jesus had his own community. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know who Jesus' community was?
His disciples.
His disciples. All right, Chloe, I want you to read Ecclesiastes 4:9-12 and tell me what that says.
Okay. So it says, 2 people are better than one. They can help each other in everything they do. Suppose either of them falls down. Then the one can help the other one up. But suppose a person falls down and doesn't have anyone to help them up. Then feel sorry for that person. Suppose 2 people lie down together. Then they'll keep warm. But how can one person keep warm alone? One person could be overpowered, but 2 people can stand up for themselves. And a rope made out of 3 cords isn't easily broken.
That's right. So that verse was all about community. It was all about being together. So I want you guys to think, the most important part about community as a church community, what we need to do is to help the needy. Just like God told us, right, in the verses that I just read, he talked all about helping the needy, helping those in need. And so if we do what they did in those verses, there would be not a needy person. Could you imagine if there were no homeless people?
That would be amazing.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So as a community, as a church community, I want you guys to really think on things that you guys could do to help those in need. And I know that when this all first started as a church community, we came together and we decided to do a food drive, right? We got a bunch of food together, we made bags, and we gave it to those that were hurting because they were out of jobs and they weren't making any money and they needed to feed their kids. So as a church, we just asked for a few things and we were able to help so many families because as a community, we came together, right? If just Miss Haley would have donated food, probably would have only been able to help like 1 person, right? Yeah. Maybe, if that. But because we came together as a community, we were able to help so many people during this time of need. So we are so happy to talk about community today. Last week we talked about prayer. Next week we're going to talk about worship. I know some of you already love to worship, you know how to worship, but we're really going to dive into worship and what that means and how we can grow our relationship with God through worship. So we want to pray with you. Do either of you want to pray?
Sure, I want to pray.
All right, Chloe's going to pray over us and we're going to close and then we have some fun things after our prayer.
Yep.
All right, Chloe, go ahead.
Okay. So Lord, thank you for this very nice community and that, Lord, thank you that all of us get to have fun today and tomorrow. And I love this lesson because it teaches us things that we need to know. And Lord, thank you for helping us understand everything. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. We hope you guys have a blessed weekend and enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy this warm weather. We will be back in the building soon and we're so excited because we actually know when we're coming back. And I cannot wait to see all your guys' faces. But as promised, Joel is getting a pie in his face. And not only is Joel getting a pie in his face,
but we all are.
We all are. Fun.
And bam.
All right, on the count of 3. Are you ready?
Yep.
Wait, you gotta put your hand this way and I'll put mine on this side, all right?
No.
No, at the same time, on the count of 3.
Wait. I think that we should have a challenge. Whoever has the most on their face wins.
All right, we'll have Aaron be the judge of that. Whoever has the most on their face. All right, 1.
We're
doing it at the same time.
What?
See how Chloe and I are sitting?
I'm so scared.
All right, ready?
I don't want to do it at the same time.
We are. Ready? Close your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can't see. Did anyone open their eyes yet?
No.
This is awesome.
Chloe wins.
Chloe literally